Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
Well, let's go on with part two of our session about disease and disorders and their spiritual basis and their spiritual approach. Erik, hi. How are you?
Erik says hi to everybody.
I
Hi,
hope you're
Mom.
going. I hope you're going to behave yourself with Jamie this time.
No promises.
Oh,
But
great. Okay, we'll try. All right, let's talk about a disorder that a lot of people do suffer from greatly, and that's social anxiety. Some people just have moments where they're very anxious, for example, at a party, but some people are very disabled with this disorder and can't even get out of their house. Tell me about the spiritual basis for that, if you could, Erik.
he goes, okay. And let's just remind everyone that there is a huge spectrum of anxiety. He's talking about the small anxiety attacks where people can manage it as it comes and get around it and move on. And then the other extreme is having such anxiety that they design their entire life around that dense emotion of anxiety or panic. And he said, with every individual case, the spiritual lesson behind it is going to be very unique. He goes, but we're just going to talk about it in general. The blanket answer, he pretends to throw a blanket. In most cases, the anxieties are linked to being extremely sensitive energetically. So the person can feel, absorb, take on a multitude of energetic patterns, emotions, from people, from the room that they're in, from the history of what was there, from the future of what's going to occur there. Because we got to remember, time is stacked, time's not linear, but we can get into that one later. And with this sensitivity, it is very difficult for a person to understand what is their personal emotion, what are they going through, and what are they being dosed with from their external environment. Most of the time, people can't differentiate what's mine, what's yours. And this bleeds into this overwhelming sensation that they can't even handle a conversation, they can't change rooms, they can't bring in something new from the outside. It can be extremely paralyzing. What I would say for that is look at it more. He said, look at it more as a gift. And I said, ooh, I remember being told that once, and I got very pissed. It's hard to see something, he's saying, it's hard to see something that is so paralyzing being such an ability or a gift. You can learn how to protect or shut down your ability of being able to receive energetic patterns or fields, emotions, thoughts, everything from everybody else without having to compromise your life. You can protect yourself. You don't have to change your posture. You don't have to put your head down. You don't have to wear headphones all the time. You don't have to listen to music. You don't have to recluse. I don't know if I want to say that.
Come on, Jamie.
Well, he's saying that backing off, reclusing yourself, choosing not to go out and feel life or explore life is the wimpy way out. I changed the word. I can't say the word.
Okay.
It begins with a P. It begins with a P.
Oh, okay, I know. I understand. Yeah.
And I told him, that if somebody said that to me, I'd get angry.
Yeah.
And he said, good, then I hope you can use that anger to power you to learn how to do something different. He said, I would then challenge the person to test those waters out to see if the shit really does work. Hook up with someone who knows energy, get a, what is that? Showing me, the biofeedback. They have those gloves that you can put on and you plug it to your computer and you can learn how to control your heart rates and thoughts, and it gives you all this visual, really cool patterning on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, it's just like a video game. He said, I would purchase that. You're just dealing with a computer. You're not dealing with a person. See what you can do for yourself. And then if that is showing some progress for you, then I would find a person who you can interact with that knows this shit inside and out and can train you to learn how to protect yourself without having to shut down or pull in. You shouldn't let this paralyze your entire life. Now, the small anxiety attacks, those can be triggers. Those can be loudspeakers for a certain circumstance that's happening in your life that you're choosing not to address so well or not handle so well.
For example?
And, for example, because I don't know, you give me an example, Mom. What do people stress out about?
Money? Well, that's probably a chronic issue. I don't know, when your kids act up in the mall and everybody's watching you. I don't know. You think of an example, Jamie.
My example is going on stage.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
When people have to do, like in front of the classroom, give a speech or
Okay.
peers, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have this anxiety attack. So he said, the example of being in front of a group of people and you have an attack, you start to sweat, you start to forget things, you panic and you want to shut down, you want to give up, your throat tightens, all the physical responses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Physical responses are coming because you don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what you have to do, but you're not in control of what the response is going to be. So therefore, your belief system is you're going to be good when the response is good. But if the response is bad, then you are bad. And how are you going to change that? Which is bullshit. You're letting this attack come on because you're giving external power to something else and not you. And that's where the bullshit starts to happen. You're actually in control. Even if you mess up and you step back and you smile and you say to them, "Oh, I messed up. Let me do it again." People are going to be on your page. They're going to enjoy that you messed up, that you admitted it, and it makes you real. So I don't know what this need is for people to put on a certain face and play a certain role. You got to just be yourself. You can be yourself. That means you're going to pay attention to yourself, and you're not going to have these fucking anxiety attacks.
And that's...
And he said,
oh, go ahead.
what's so messed up, I find, what's so fucked up is that you can have these kinds of anxiety attacks a week before you're even in front of the classroom or in front of your peers at your office. And you're laying in bed and all of a sudden it comes on. And you're like, what's this? What's it coming from? I have no idea. Bullshit. If you sit down and finally consciously think about it, you know exactly where it's coming from. Your subconscious and all the other parts in your body are working like fucking mad because this is on your plate. And you're either terrified of it because it's a mystery, because you don't know what it is, or you're not in control over it. That all of a sudden it comes to the surface and you have a physical reaction. Let me tell you, people, he's kind of yelling. His fingers out like this. You don't have to have a fucking physical reaction to say that you're having a panic attack. You don't wait for your body to kind of pull it to the surface to say that it's yours. You already know it's there because your mind is running it, your heart is pumping harder, or your emotions are running it under the surface. That's the time you address it. You don't wait till it comes out. Because that's ridiculous. That's the whole ignorance is bliss. Oh, if I ignore it or I don't really have anything I can't do with it, that's bullshit. You're playing dumb. Why are you playing dumb to yourself? Don't play dumb. Go get on the internet. Go learn. Go ask somebody. Go reach out. Try something different. We're all... He throws his arms out. We're all in control. Come on.
So this really goes to everything related to all forms of anxiety, what you've said?
Yes.
And of course, these things could be related to past life issues, right? I mean, the triggers.
The triggers could be related to it, but the actual panic attack is because of the unknown, that you feel out of control, that you don't have a say-so in how it's going to work out or play out. But the trigger can be from a past life.
And a lot of this is about judgment about an external source judging you. And if you get over that, then that means that you have to get into the mindset, hey, I am in control, and the external source is not. Is that what you're sort of saying in a nutshell?
He said, you said nut, and yes, that's what he's saying.
I knew that was going to get there. I just knew it. You're so predictable, Erik. You really are. All right, well, let's go on to the sister of anxiety and go to depression. A lot of people out there are depressed now, and they, of course, maybe it just seems like they are. There's more incidents of depression now, but what's behind that spiritually? Why do people get depressed?
Erik is first just going off and goes, I'm confused, Mom. Those are sisters?
Okay, brothers, I don't know. Okay, they're enemies. They're opposites. Oh, you tell me. You tell me.
He's just teasing you. Anxiety and depression, sisters, forever.
Oh, BFFs. They're BFFs.
Yeah, depression has this magical way of making you feel that nobody understands you. He's saying that he would like to call it a curse, but that's not the truth. You're experiencing the depression because you can't ground yourself or link yourself into your life, into what's happening. And some of it is a bit of a safety mechanism to where you withdraw, you come in. And he said, so a lot of this depression is, he says that it's very valuable because when you draw in, you have time to look at yourself. You have time for quiet, internal dialogue, direction. And he says the catch is you got to fucking come out of it, right? So the pulling in part for moments here and there and here and there, here and there can actually benefit you. But if you're choosing to stay in it or you're just unaware of how to get out of it, this is like being caught in a dryer. Caught in a dryer.
What?
I know, and that's the visual I have in my head is tiny person in a big, huge dryer, and it's just looping and spinning. And you're spending all your energy in trying not to tumble, that you can't even think about opening the door and stepping out. You're trapped in this, and it is taking so much energy, and it's exhausting to try to stay upright that you don't even think of opening the door and stepping out. He's saying the overall kind of, not really a spiritual tone. I guess it's a spiritual tone, not so much of a lesson, because people step into depression for, and he goes, now this is just a variety of reasons. So I can't even put it into one or two pockets. It's like millions of pockets of why you would come into this. But the lesson that you do take out of it is, how do you go internal? How do you cut ties from your entire surroundings and look at the self, look at you? But the golden nugget is, golden nugget, I get it, move on, is how to address yourself without a broken mind. I'm asking him to explain it. Because when you go inward and you cut all the ties, then most people want to fall into, I'm alone, nobody understands me, and it's rote. It just goes again and again and again and again.
Like that dryer.
Like the dryer. And he says, but the beauty of depression is when you're able to separate all those ties, pull in, have those quiet moments, but then not have the broken record play and play and play, but say, I'm here for a moment in time. What can I see from where I'm standing? And to look out, but not engage out. Depression doesn't let you engage. It closes you in. He doesn't know where to go from there, so he's giving the ball back to you.
Right, so how do you reach out? That's easier said than done. How do you get out of your shell? Just by being more conscious about it and saying, okay, I got to get out of my shell. That's not easy when you're in the throes of depression.
Yeah, and he says most of the time people don't even know to ask.
Exactly.
They think it's just normal, or they think they're having a crazy fit. And that crazy fit will go away soon. He's getting loud again. He says, I hope everyone who's watching or anyone who's listening, when you don't feel right, whether you think it's crazy, whether you think it's just for a moment in time, whether you think it'll heal naturally on its own, or whether you think there's no end in sight, if you don't feel right, which is your definition of balance or secure or safe, you need to touch base with someone. Come
Makes
on.
sense.
Come on, you guys have buddies to tell each other when to, he said, rub your boobs, but I will say that the vision is clearly checking for lumps in your breast.
Okay, good.
Boob buddies. Right? Why can't you have depression buddy or I don't feel right buddy? And as soon as you're off, you go and you check in with this person, be it your therapist, your doctor, your mom, your dad, your best friend, your sibling, whomever, and just say, feeling funky today, don't know what it is. And they can say, well, what do you need? They can help you with some questions, and then you'll know, okay, if I'm calling you every day here, then I probably need to seek external help. Or that depression buddy can say to you, you need to go get professional help or someone who's going to understand you better than me.
Okay, now, Erik, so if I get a boob buddy, will you get a testicular lump buddy?
He's cracking up so hard. He said, deal.
I could just see that. I'm not getting a good visual. Okay, this is probably a good time to say goodbye to part 2. And
probably.
Just a reminder. Oh, go ahead. What is he doing now?
He's doing the Captain Morgan stance. One of his foot is up on my table. And yeah.
So,
that's all.
There must be something more to that, but I think we'll stop. All right, now, just a reminder. I'm so sorry, my voice is messing up, but you can contact Jamie through, and look at her site through withloveandlight.com, and it's spelled out A&D. And also you can visit Erik's blog, channelingerik.com, www.channelingerik.com. See you for part 3, people.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Erik says see you later.